Let's go to the Christian Educators Executive Director. His name's David Schmus. This is quite the interesting interview. Take a look. Joining us now on RSBN is David Schmus, the Executive Director of Christian Educators. Thank you so much for joining us, David.
Thank you, Matthew, for having me.
Definitely. Talk to us about Christian Educators.
Sure. Christian Educators exist for a couple of reasons. One is we help teachers walk out their faith legally in our public schools. And that's often a very hard thing to do. So we equip them with all the legal do's and don'ts and all the encouragement and how to have a kind of a kingdom mindset as they do that. The other thing we do is we provide a professional association for educators, many of whom are used to working in highly unionized environments. And you may know, Matthew, that those teachers unions are typically highly politicized and are funding so much of the stuff that we see is confusing our students and our kids and wreaking havoc on the culture of our public schools. And so rather than these teachers paying these unions, on average, I would say about $800 a year, much of which goes to politics and funding agendas. They can join us for a fraction of the cost, get better liability insurance, legal protections, consultation, things like that, all from a biblical worldview. So by offering those services, we're essentially helping to defund so much of what is, I think, going wrong in this country by helping teachers have an option to get out of teachers' unions.
Can you talk to us about how long you've been involved with Christian Educators? How big of a staff do you have? And what is the main passion there? Is it, obviously when you go woke, you go broke, but with this, you're just replacing it with more common sense, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have members in all 50 states around the country. So we're a small organization, but we're mighty in many ways. I've been involved since 2015 here on staff, executive director since 2017. Christian Educators has actually existed since 1953, so not a new organization. Lots of history, and we have staff spread over all the country. About 200 leaders around the country that serve with our schools and putting on events and reaching out to educators and serving them. And we have a team of consultants and legal professionals that help when our teachers get in trouble, they need help and have an issue that they need to call us and get counsel for. So,
do you have any kind of specific examples for that? And then secondly, say someone's a teacher from Michigan watching this interview right now and they want to join you guys. What's the process there as well?
Yeah, sure. So to join, you just go to christianeducators.org. Super easy, and just follow a process. And as soon as they join, they are covered by our $2 million professional liability insurance, our good job protection coverage, and our unlimited consultation. So that's a very easy process. And yeah, we get calls, all week long we get calls about things like, I've got a transgender student in my classroom, and I'm not sure what to do, and my school is requiring me to follow these policies. Or we get stuff that's not even about faith, like, hey, I had to break up a fight and I gave a kid a bruise on his arm and I grabbed him and now I'm being investigated. And so we walk through teachers all kinds of situations. We walk them through whether they're faith-based or whether they're just simply trials and tribulations of any teacher may experience.
Yeah,
we're happy to come alongside.
It sounds like, just those two stories right there. I mean, that is difficult enough to deal with, but let alone teaching our youth just the basics in America. What's your overall 30,000-foot view of really which direction our country should go with what's going on? I mean, President Trump is saying that we should, get rid of the Department of Education and bring it back to the states. What's your overall thought on all of that?
Yeah, it's very clear, Matthew, that we need to get the politics and the agendas out of the public school curriculum. Go back to teaching, reading, writing, arithmetic, if you will. Get back to the basics of focusing on academics. The challenge of doing that is there's so much dysfunction and mental illness and emotional challenges of the students in our schools. And so these school professionals are looking at these issues without the Lord, without the biblical worldview, and they're trying to devise solutions, but unfortunately those solutions often harm more than help. And so we need more and more educators that carry a biblical worldview, that walk with the Lord, to go into our public schools, essentially as adult missionaries, to bring hope and encouragement and peace into our public schools, because private schools and homeschools are great options. We love those options, but the fact of the matter is 85 to 90% of our students in this nation are in the public schools. And if we just abandon them to their fate, this country is going to experience the results of that, and it's not going to be positive.
Exactly. It sounds like it's a mission field, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We want our teachers to, within the confines of the law, to carry the presence of Christ into our schools. Absolutely.
David Schmus, the Executive Director at Christian Educators. Thanks for taking the time with us and teaching us more about what you guys do.
All right, thanks for having me, Matthew.
Definitely. Okay, so that interview from earlier